This is the self-titled podcast of the Golf in Japan website, where you can check essential information in English about golfing in Japan, including more than 2,000 courses. We can help you book your round and make the whole process a whole lot easier. So check out golf-in-japan.com and start planning your Japan golf trip today. Golf in Japan, March 1st, 2024. Welcome in Yokoso. Today I'm here with Damon and Paul. And where's Joe?
Working.
Is he working? Like, you know, I think it's the double lapel tailors in town, and he had to get his tweed coat organised. Okay, so we'll do our best without good old Joe this week, but I guess we'll start off with our prefecture of the week, which is
Tottori prefecture. So that's
Tottori.
located in the southern part of the Honshu Island, which is obviously the main island of Japan, and facing the Nihonkai, the Sea of Japan.
I've actually been there.
Good.
It's beautiful. Have you been there?
I have not.
I climbed Mount Daisen.
Can you climb that?
Yeah, Mount Daisen's a beautiful mountain.
Yeah.
I've been there. Our good buddy, mutual friend Stefan Bollier lived there when he was learning Japanese. I lived in Shimane-ken. I missed the Shimane-ken podcast, but it's right next there to there. Mount Daisen overlooks a bunch of golf courses, and I'm pretty sure, Damon, you're probably going to talk about them.
We have them all listed.
All right.
But before we do the golf courses, what else would Tottori be famous for?
The desert.
Well, the sand dunes.
Wow.
They are amazing.
They're amazing.
They're really cool.
When you fly in, you fly over them, and it looks like the Sahara or something like that. And they have camels. You can take a camel ride.
So do they do something similar to like the UAE? The sand dune, full driving, and
Yeah, it's not that big. I mean, it's pretty sizable, but it's just like proper big dunes.
right?
You suppose you could.
Cool. Well, how many golf courses? A little bit cannot be 100% for sure, but about 10 or 11 apparently.
10.5.
10.5. Oh, 10.5 because
They have the shortest 18-hole golf course in Japan.
that would be correct. And that is called the Kanda Golf Club.
Mm-hmm. So it's par 52 or 58. Can't remember. But apparently it's really good practice. It's a short course. They welcome kids, beginners, all that kind of stuff. But it's good for, your good players to sharpen up their short.
So
short
is it
game.
just a bunch of par threes, or is it like?
No, it has a few par fours as well.
Wow. What's the longest hole?
I don't know. I never played that course.
Okay. I mean,
Lack of
that's just a
information.
trivia. I mean, giving me those eyes over there. It's just a question.
Yep.
No,
but,
I know.
But you can check all of these golf courses out, obviously, on golfinjapan.com. Our top 5 ranking golf courses: Asahi Kokusai Hamamaru Onsen Golf Club, the Tottori Golf Club, the Yonaga Golf Course,
Yonago, yeah.
yep, Daisan Arc Country Club, and the Green Park Daisan Golf Club.
Okay. I played in Dyson Golf Club, and it's, as Paul mentioned, it's right next to Mount Dyson. Is it Dyson or Dyson?
Daisan. It's
Daisen.
one of those things. It's like Fuji-san. They call mountains san in Japan.
So it was rock hard. It was a brilliant golf course. It's like every hole has forest on either side, so you don't see any other hole. So as you're going up, and the fairways were wide, but it's really long. It was long for me. It was over 7,100 yards, which is super long. And it feels like a couple of holes are going uphill, so you can't reach the par fours and stuff like that. So it's really challenged. But I had a blast, and you do get fantastic views of Daisan, which is like Fuji-san. Except smaller.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Oh, very nice. There's a couple of other golf courses down there that we should make a mention of. There's Oyama Arc Country Club. And we just mentioned the short course of Kanda. Price-wise, again, just extremely cheap to play. All of these courses, they average around, between 6,000 to 8,000 yen around, which is like $50.
That's theft.
Yeah.
I would. You mentioned flying in there. I do remember, and this goes back 20 some odd years. Don't take the train there. Taking the train in Japan is nice. I strongly recommend not taking the train because you have to go from Osaka to Okayama and then transfer to something called the Yakumo Express, which is one of these old-timey trains that rocks back and forth and gives you motion sickness. And it's like 2.5 hours. I think it's only 20 kilometers, but it seems like it takes days.
I don't know. That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, if you got a lot of time on your hands
Yep.
and you want to visit some peach orchards in Okayama and then take a nice train.
Talking about peaches or fruit, that's another thing that Tottori is very famous
Yep.
for, is the Nijuseki pear.
There you go.
And the Nijuseki is pretty much translates to 20th century. So also very, very famous.
So you remember last week or one of the weeks we were talking about how everybody likes to say that they have the best, not Kobe beef, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Wagyu.
Wagyu. So there's a Wagyu Olympics held every 4 years, and they're the reigning champions in Tottori.
Is that so?
There you go. So that's a big deal for them.
Interesting fact.
Interesting fact. Okay, cool. Here we go. They have the Shanshan Festival in Yanago, and that's in August, and they have the Tottori Sand Dunes Festival in December, which also has fireworks. So there you go.
Very good.
Okie doke.
So that's it.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
that was Tottori, and I think in our weather segment, although some courses are closed today because of snow, we got fitted for our Titleist Vokey wedges, the new ones that are coming out, the SM10s.
Awesome clubs.
Really great experience, actually, because I'd gotten fit before, but only indoor, and hitting off grass outside, the track man, and then they bring it into the bunkers. You're going all around from the rough, from tight lies, just off the greens. Amazing experience. It was good, wasn't it?
It was absolutely fantastic. And you said it before, I don't think I've hit so many chip shots at one time, but such a big difference doing it off grass compared to indoor simulator. No, fantastic experience and awesome clubs.
Yeah, no, they're really good. So we did get it lectured on them, but I know that the sweet spot moved from kind of slightly towards the hosel to actually in the middle of the club.
This is correct. Yep.
Yeah, so they've changed.
on the Vokeys.
On the new Vokey SM10s.
Did they explain why? That's very interesting.
Well, they've obviously changed all of the center of gravity and all this kind of stuff on the clubs. There's actually 3 reasons why. I'm going to do an article about this, when I've done a little bit more research, but felt great. That's the bottom line. Felt great.
What clubs did you get?
So I got a 54, a 58, a 60.
Normally you would go 52, 56, 60 or 50, 54, 58.
Well, it also depends on what your irons are and your pitching wedge as well, what degrees they are. But I got a 48, a 52, and a 56, which is quite different to what I've had, the SM9s.
Yeah.
But
so that 48 sounds very close to what a pitching wedge would be.
Which is interesting because he's actually brought it down a degree to 47.
Interesting.
And then toe up on all of them as well.
How many degrees?
2 degrees.
Me too.
Yep. So, and we should get them in about 5 days.
Okay. I'm not clear on one thing when you do the fittings. How do they look at your divots and stuff and what's the process? Because how do you know that the toe has to go up or what, how do they figure all that stuff out?
Because they have a track man going on behind you. That's getting all the data. And then they have this AI. They've invented their own AI that actually analyzes the track man data.
Yeah. And you hit so many shots and the AI will see how shallow you're hitting the ball, what your form is. So I suppose it's a little bit more, instead of you trying to fit a certain club, it's trying to go the other way. So it's great.
Yeah, it's amazing because as soon as
you also have the professional fitters there.
Yeah,
these guys are really, really trained up.
They're really good golfers as well. So they're like pros and they're fitters. So they're kind of like they can see what is, when you hit a crappy shot, they're not taking that one. They're just saying, all right, that's gone.
That's okay. Yeah,
that was a bad strike. Let's do another one. And then when you hit a few good ones, they're like, okay, we got it. Try this, and then you're like, ooh, nice. And then they were gapping the wedges as well. That's why I had to change. So I went from a 56 to a 58. So I could have, it was like between 10 and 13 yards in between each club.
So
for a full shot.
I'm interested, the 2 degrees difference between the 58 and the 60. I assume one will be one you will use on the fairway or out of the rough, and the other one will be used out of bunkers. Is that correct?
Yeah, not necessarily, because I was actually trying all of them with it. But yeah, so actually the 60 was definitely for the bunker. So I was hitting that out. I was trying to 50 out of the bunker, but the bounce is a little bit different.
Right.
So they were saying, what do you normally hit out of the bunker? What do you want to hit out of the bunker? I was like 60. And they're like, grand, that's the one for you.
Yep.
There you go. It was a good experience. But the weather was lovely.
Back to the weather.
You have to bring in the weather. The weather was I actually got sunburned, which was incredible. And then it snowed again 2 days later. Crazy.
Well, we were originally scheduled to do the fitting 2 weeks ago, and it snowed.
That's right, yeah.
So this was the postponed date, and it was amazing weather.
Yeah, but shout out to Titleist. That was great fun, and I can't wait to get my wedges. And I got the jet black ones that I even have a kind of a matte almost finish.
Yeah, I have those.
Because I don't like the glare from the sun.
Yep. And so just on that as well, and then after that, we actually went to their new fulfillment center.
Yeah.
Which was another amazing experience.
What did you see there, Damon? You and I talked about it a little bit yesterday. This fulfillment center is it what it sounds like? They just process everything and then send them out to all the shops
So they
across
previously,
Japan?
when you would have a fitting completed, and then they would send the order to a third party, and then they would bring the clubs together, the shafts and the lie and all of that type of thing. So now they've taken that all in-house in the new fulfillment center. So within the center there, they do all the club construction, all the custom fitting, the results of the custom fitting clubs together, and then they send it downstairs to the fulfillment and send it off. So previously taking them a couple of weeks to get clubs out, now it's going to take them 3 to 5 days.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So do you have a direct, like as a customer, I go online, or do you have to go through a pro shop? How does the process work?
You basically go to their website and you book a fitting.
Or you can go to our website and book a fitting.
Or you can go to Golf in Japan and book a fitting there, and then you have a fitting completed, and then they'll send the information off to their fulfillment center. And
I would highly recommend everybody to get fitted for clubs. And it's not something that it's only for elite golf players. It's actually for everybody, right? Because equipment can make a massive difference.
Yeah, it's a bit of a myth, I suppose, or a misconception that only like the elite golfers, the top end single handicap golfers need to be fitted. But I mean, fittings for everyone.
Yeah, because you can see the improvement while you're getting fitted. They go, try this, try that. You're like, oh, that feels great. And when you get confidence because something feels good, you'll play better.
That's right.
It's
So the clubs off the rack may not suit you as a player. So go down to Titleist, get fitted, and be a dedicated golfer.
There you go. Oh, we also had a bash of the new Scotty Camerons, which were sick. Amazing. These are all the mallets. They're bringing out 3 different types of mallets.
What were they called? With a fast track?
Phantom.
Yeah. Really, really good. So, yeah, one really
It's like a Rolls Royce.
suited my eye. But you love the mallet. I'm a toe putter guy. That's what I like to play. But I'm definitely going to give a mallet a go.
Yeah, well, we all got one, so...
Yeah, give it a go now.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, cool. Yeah, that was good fun. Now Joe's not here, but I think we should talk about some of the interesting shenanigans that is happening over in Tour Land or Tour World. But we'll do it our style. So first of all, last week the PGA Tour was in Mexico, and very famous for being a bombers course. You had Tony Finau, reigning champion, bomb and gouge. It's really, really wide, so you smack one down there as far as you can, and then you try and flip a wedge in there. And I could be wrong on that, but that's what it looked like. And then our new guy, Mr. Knapp time.
Jake Knapp.
Great story about him. Fantastic story. So he's a rookie on the PGA Tour. He's 30, and up until last year, he did the Corn Ferry Tour and all that kind of stuff, but he was working as a bouncer. And this guy, he's got a blonde mullet. He's pretty ripped, actually. He hits it really hard. And he's just a cool dude. He's already like going to be a new up and coming star. It's amazing.
I mean, the payday.
So interesting.
His girlfriend came in from Canada, day of, And I mean, had he not won, that would have been a sad story. But it wasn't. What a happy story. He came from nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he didn't come from nowhere. He served his time. He's 30 years old, but which is quite old, I suppose, but it's not really.
Yeah.
But he managed to come through the Corn Ferry Tour, so he
Yeah.
won there twice or something last year. But now he's into the Masters and
Yeah, the Big
players
Four.
and-
He has access to the Big Four this year. That's an outstanding story.
That's cool. Good
The
for
mullet,
him.
an outstanding mullet as well.
So the other thing that came out was the asterisk, which was basically what's the Taylor Gooch was? No, was it Taylor Gooch?
Yeah, it was Gooch.
I don't think so.
It was Gooch, 100%.
Was it?
Yeah.
So he says if Rory wins the Masters this year, it'll have to have an asterisk next to it because it's not a really full field representing the best golfers in the world, and obviously referring to the LIV players.
Oh, I think a lot of people think that, but he said it.
But Rory's reply was great because he said, well, Jacqueline Neiman, he was playing all around the world into events that he knew he would get points to qualify for the Masters. He did it, got an invitation. And he said, I don't see Taylor's invitation anywhere. Right? But I mean, you still got the best players in the world. And it's a testament that Knapp came through, the Corn Ferry Tour, and then he's winning. I mean, they all do that, right? And,
Yep.
and in 3 or 4 or 5 years, he could be a household name.
At that level, I think we're all clear on this, and I'm pretty sure Joe would agree.
Text him.
I'm going to text him right now. I think that the difference between somebody on the Corn Ferry Tour and somebody on PGA is paper thin.
It is, yeah.
And then somebody
sure.
could have a great week and win the Masters.
Yep.
I think gone are the days where you have one guy or 3 guys dominating. We all thought Rahm would be the next one. Rory would be the next one. Jordan Spieth. They all had their turn, but that they couldn't do what Tiger did, which is
It's impossible.
dominate.
It's impossible to have that level of
Not
consistency.
anymore. Yeah.
At a top level. So, and any one of those players, probably even on the Corn Ferry Tour as well, if they're in form,
Oh, yeah.
they're amazing players, and they'll all go low. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
they can hold their concentration and bottle for 4 days, they'll win. So it doesn't matter. It's whoever's on form. They're all elite golfers. That's it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So anyway, so that was funny. And then the other thing about Rory,
He's going to live.
apparently
Apparently
according to
so.
What?
what's his name, Chubby Chandler.
Chubby Chandler, his ex-manager.
Yeah,
And the price?
I don't know.
950 million.
What?
Do it, Rory. Get it. Get that money.
That's $1 billion. Does the Saudi money never run out?
I think if he does go, he's dead right. He was the poster boy for the PGA Tour. Went there hard, represented them.
Yeah.
Gave all his mates like Sergio and everybody a load of crap, and then they totally went behind his back and did a deal with the guys that Rory was single-handedly fighting evil against or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they did a sleeve-in move and just made a deal with the Saudis, and now it's all one big happy family. And he had gone out on a limb saying, "No way, it's dead in the water." Blah blah blah. So then he's like, "Well, you know what? Maybe I was wrong to do that because look what's happened." And I think he's completely within his rights to go back on it a bit. So and get the 950 million if you can.
I think you better take it. Like I didn't
Get
even- I mean, because they're going to merge at some point, right?
Yeah, Tiger's in the midst of pulling that deal together.
So
And
he's
if Rory
getting-
goes over, it's definitely going to go ahead
It's going to happen.
for sure.
So,
Wow.
so this is like the last chance
It is, yeah.
to get this
actually
big paycheck.
watched a LIV tournament.
Come on.
Yeah, we've been watching
it's a great broadcast.
Well, I'll tell you why you'll be watching it next week
Oh, absolutely.
because Anthony Kim's on it.
Oh, well,
AK.
he's all over the news right now.
Did anyone see what's in the bag? He's playing top to toe Titleist,
Mm.
including the SM10s.
Awesome.
Look at you, bunch you.
We love it. Well, I can't wait. Actually, someone leaked their picture or a video of him hitting balls on the range. In
Yeah.
Jeddah.
What did you think of his swing?
Well, I'm sure Joe could give a better breakdown, and maybe we can ask him next time we see him. But I thought, he looked really good. I thought coming through the ball, he kind of looked a bit stiff. Like it's good. The backswing looks great. His arms really, straight and stuff, and then as he goes through it, he kind of does this weird little stand-up maneuver, which I do myself.
He left because of his back, right? I mean,
Achilles.
It was his
Achilles.
He got $10 million for a ruptured Achilles.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well,
then
he insured it, so why not? So he left 12 years ago. It's been 12 years since he's been gone.
So he's, what is his late 30s now?
He's 38 years old. And he's joining LIV as a wild card. So he's not joining any team, I don't believe. I think
He is a wild card.
individually and fighting for a permanent place in the LIV competition.
he's got a ponytail. He's got tattoo
Yeah.
sleeves. He
Yeah,
wears
yeah.
Vans.
Well, I mean, with his tattoos and stuff, I mean, this is a big change, even
Yeah.
for LIV. Because there's no one else on tour there that is covered in tattoos.
Do you, I don't know, maybe you guys know. I mean, John Daly's been begging to get on LIV. And I was thinking, I don't know. I this is me in my head, but I'm going like, why wouldn't they want John Daly? And I thought, well, it is the Saudi kind of tour, and they are kind of anti-alcohol a little bit. And maybe John Daly's reputation
think so.
is just a step too far.
You remember
No?
when they first were doing it, and Pat Perez and everybody, and they were on the private jet, and they had a disco on the
Yeah.
on the thing, and they're all
well, it's
hammered.
okay.
And it was like 50 bottles of Cristal right there, and they're all getting hammered.
So do you think, okay, then this is a weird question. Anthony Kim's there. He hasn't played in 12 years. John Daly could still hit a golf ball and play pretty well, and is an obscene character.
I think that's what they should do.
I think they should get John Daly there.
Get rid of all the rubbish players that they have. They have even a couple of unheard of Japanese guys and stuff. Get rid of all them. Bring in John Daly. Smoke a few
Yeah.
darts.
Yeah,
Have a few beers.
you know what? I was watching the senior tour because I like to watch that stuff. And your man, the Spaniard,
Miguel Angel Jimenez.
Jimenez literally threw his cigar on the green during the broadcast, like while he's putting. And I just thought,
Legend.
That's legend. That stuff is. And then he chips in for eagle on 18. I was just outstanding.
Maybe if Trump loses his presidential campaign, he can join LIV as well.
Yeah,
Drive the cart right onto the green.
He's a good golfer. I don't know if you've seen any clips. I mean, he can play. There's no rumors.
I know, I've seen him cheat a couple of times.
Yeah,
Hey.
maybe he's
Picking
not.
up a ball.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd have him.
Yeah,
But anyway, so LIV this weekend.
Yep, let's watch it.
It's
AK.
Jeddah Royal Greens Golf and Country in Saudi.
have you played there, Damon?
No, pass. No.
What's the time
Unfortunately.
difference? Because it's going to be on YouTube, right? So
Yep.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. Everyone's going to be watching with AK playing. But did you see what happened with Anthony Kim and John Rahm?
No.
Paul, you see it? Probably not. You don't like LIV. So they're crossing
says
paths.
I don't like LIV?
They're
Come on.
crossing paths.
Yeah.
And John Rahm thought Anthony Kim was a fan or a spectator and wanted an autograph or something. He didn't recognize who he was.
Well, he wouldn't, right? Because John Rahm was a kid when Anthony Kim.
It's 12 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, John Rahm's. He's not.
He was
even
probably
30.
a young teenager or
Yeah,
something
he
at
was
the
a
time, right?
teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know how old John
Five-
Rahm
But
500 million,
But if
yeah.
you see him, he looks kind of homeless. He was in a pair of he looked like a skateboarder from LA. He had when his hair's longish and he had a tiny ponytail at the back, and then he had covered in tattoos. He's all brown. He's wearing a pair of Vans that are hanging off. The soles hanging off one of them.
Brilliant.
So he probably just thought, who's this poor
To be
homeless guy?
fair, I think the reason he's coming back is pretty clear.
Casharola.
Okay, so if you
Casharola.
could bring any other golfer back,
Yeah.
who would it be?
Interesting. Back
Who
from
could
the,
still play
back
and
from the
back onto
dead?
Well,
LIV?
they'd have to
or-
be able to play.
back from the dead.
Not
it'd
from
be
the
Sevi.
dead.
Well, I mean, okay, we're asking for clarification, Brett. I mean, I'd like to see Jimenez. I do. I do. He's still a great player.
You know why people say Jimenez instead of Jimenez? Because there was a king in Spain maybe 100 years ago, more, I don't know. And he had a speech impediment. So he used to say Jimenez.
Is that so?
Yeah, so then they kind of passed a law that everyone had to pronounce it like that. I don't know if it was a law, but everyone does that in Spain. But if you go to South America, like Mexico and all, they'll say Jimenez.
South America, Mexico's North American.
Whatever. South America, they speak more Spanish, right?
Northern Hemisphere, yeah.
Yeah. So,
No. That's very interesting. I did not know that.
companion golf. I did it for the first time.
What is companion golf?
I hear you say. So companion golf is where if you're coming to Japan and you want to play golf, but you just don't want the hassle of getting to the course or, translation and, just having anything go wrong. So we organise the golf. We bring them there. We sort out the Titleist rental clubs. We'll pick you up at your hotel and we'll bring you over. So I brought a lovely couple from San Francisco. They had a great time. The weather was perfect. We went on Monday. I brought them over to Narashino.
Yeah, Narashino Country Club.
Which is fun. It's in great shape. My goodness.
So the Narashino, for the listeners, that's where they do the PGA Zozo Championship.
Correct. Very, very nice course. It's super picturesque. And
did you play the king or the queen?
We played the queen, which was great.
It's easier. The two.
Yeah. It was still kind of hard, but
it's
but I mean, we just had a day. It was so nice. And Damon had suggested to me before. He said, before you bring them onto the course, just hit the conveni and let them buy some drinks or whatever. Because in Japan, you can bring your booze, whatever you want on, and they don't care. So I brought them into the convenience store, and they were like, "Oh my god!" Because there's just fridges and fridges and fridges of drinks, and they were like, "Is this like White Claws? This is seltzer?" And I was like, "This is a chew high." And all the flavors, and they were grabbing peach ones, and they were grabbing, all the different types of flavors of it. Brought a ton to the golf course, and they had a good day.
Awesome.
So, yeah, so it was a lovely experience, and I had a great time too. I can't wait to do it again. So if you want to play golf with one of us, just on the website, just request a companion golf. We'll take care of you.
Yep. Another good aspect of the companion golf is, again, if you're a single and you want to play a particular course, but they won't accept singles. So another good reason to use a companion golf
is so you can get on in the first place.
Yep, totally. No, well done. I myself didn't do companion golf, but I was in Okinawa for 3 days.
Ooh.
It was absolutely magic, and played the Kunucha Golf Resort.
Yep.
That was amazing. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I have.
Gorgeous place. I mean, the condos right on the par 3 there.
There are so
Gorgeous.
many condos.
It's ridiculous.
Everywhere you look, there's just another building of condos. They've got so many there. And I don't think I've ever seen so many golf carts all lined up together.
How is it? How are the conditions?
Condition was great. But let me go back.
Oh, sorry.
So when you check in there, it says full golf resort. You get everything there. There's restaurants, there's bars, just karaoke. There's just everything. But you leave your car in the car park, and then they just give you a golf cart.
Nice.
So there's about 300 odd golf carts just all lined up, ready to go. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. And it's just beautiful at night. It's so lit up with all LED lights everywhere. The condos look over the golf course. And then obviously it's just on the coast as well. So we had a beautiful little condo villa.
Nice.
With a spa out on the balcony.
Oh, wow.
Thank you to the management at Kunucha for upgrading us there. But
Nice.
It was absolutely heaven. And then the golf course, great shape. Some really tricky holes too.
Mm-hmm.
Really long holes as well.
beautiful
But
course.
yeah, fantastic.
Was it windy? I remember the wind can just rip across Okinawa.
We were okay with the wind. It drizzled rain a little bit, but otherwise it was okay.
Yeah.
It's amazing, actually, even though it's only 2 hours, 2.5 hours
2.5.
from Tokyo, the weather is totally different. It's in the 20s there now.
Yep.
Or whatever that is. What's that in North
Fahrenheit?
American?
No, Canada's Celsius. In American, that would be 68 degrees. Yeah, something like that.
What about you, Paul? Any golf?
Higashi Narita. From the tips, I shot 109. It was way too hard for me. That course is hard enough from the whites. But there was a 620 yard into the wind. I think I got a 12 on that hole. It was just
Just for everybody's information, Paul is actually a very decent player. And I think he probably has one of the lower handicaps in the room. Although, truth be told, he's never beaten me in match play ever. Sorry, go on, Paul. Keep going with your story.
I want that part cut out. The 109. Yeah, it was not but that's a gorgeous course, and it's an Accordia course. And the conditions are great. They have some really, really challenging holes for somebody who wants a really affordable course, but that's really good and hard. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, I mean, that's why they have different tee boxes. So you have, something for everybody.
Yeah.
So if you had to play from the whites, you probably would have enjoyed it more.
I would have. Well, here, give you an example. On a par 3, the back tees were 120 yards further. On a
Really?
par 3.
Wow.
So
What
they
was
were
the total
hitting.
distance?
So I was hitting 230, and they were hitting 110-ish.
So perfect 8
What
iron.
the heck? And I was the only one on the green.
What did you hit?
I got a par on that hole.
What did you hit? What golf club?
So it was slightly a follow end. I hit a 6 iron, but it was downhill.
Wow.
So
good going.
yeah, it was all right. It was all right. That was my best hole. I got a par. I didn't get anything. I was happy with that.
Okay, cool. And any golf planned for this week? Planned?
Yep, I'm going to the Murasaki Zoo Cup
Oh, great
for
golf
the
course.
monthly medal on Sunday
Oh, that's not fun.
from the tips.
It's
hard.
over. It's 7,125
Yep.
yards or something from the tips. So
Yep.
that's gonna be brutal.
So I'm hoping not. So and then I'll hand it over to you guys. My official handicap in Murasaki Zoo is 9. Okay, which isn't great, but it's not poor. From the tips, it's not going to be 9. It's not going to be 9.
If you break 100 from the tips,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and especially if it's UGA, which it probably will be. Yeah.
Yeah. Last time it was Sao Tome and Katsuragi. I think it'll be UGA this week. On to you guys.
That's just not fun. I just prefer to play from the ladies' tees and shoot a 72. And have a beer a hole.
A beer a hole.
That's what I'm talking
A
about.
chew high. Not a chew high.
Chew high.
Okay.
What about you, Damon?
No golf this weekend, unfortunately.
I thought you were playing on Saturday.
I was going to, but maybe I need to spend some family time after being
That's
down
important.
in Okinawa. But next week, all booked in. Going to one of my favourite courses, which we can talk about next week.
You have to tell us now.
Well, it's Bristol.
Bristol
Hills.
Hill.
Bristol Hill. It's a great course.
Interesting golf course, yeah, actually, that one. Okay, well, I think we're looking forward to. I'm going to play some golf. Hopefully next week. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to go over to Chiba, somewhere over the Aqua line.
Where you go?
Don't know. I want to play somewhere I've never played before. That's what I'm going to do.
You could go every week in Chiba for 2 years and
Yeah, that's
still
true.
play a different golf course.
Yeah. How many courses in Chiba? Hundreds?
No, there's
146 or 47, I think.
Oh my
I think it's
God.
closer to 200.
No way, is it?
I think it is.
Well,
Something
it borders
I'll check.
on other prefectures as well, which have tons and tons. So within 10 minutes of the border, you probably
true.
have another 100. So it's unbelievable there. But I'm going to try something new. So I'll let you know what that is.
Good.
All right, boys. I think that's it for this week. Anything else from anybody?
Nope.
We're all
that's it
good?
for me.
Okay.
But
Well,
looking forward to watching the LIV this weekend, though. And F1.
I guess I got to watch it.
I'm looking forward to seeing Joe's new double-breasted tweed jacket next week. All right, guys. Cheers.
Have a
Cheers,
good one.
everybody.